Good evening. We're going to look at topic 13, which is called Omnichannel Marketing. Let's look at the slides. Okay, when we talk about omnichannel, okay, basically your omnichannel marketing is the practice of participating multiple channels to create what we call a very seamless and consistent customer experience, okay, so that the organizations can break away from their silos, all right, and unify their goals and strategies instead of thinking it from the perspective of different compartments. Okay, you look at it as a whole. This is so to ensure, when you talk about omnichannel marketing, it is to ensure that a coordinated approach is actually taken towards understanding their customers. So it has to be uh, the customers being looked at as a whole also, okay, which is in line with what we talked about your holistic marketing and also your human-centric marketing as we did in the last chapter. So how is this, what is the purpose of your omni-channel marketing? It is to ensure that there is a concentrated effort across the multiple online and offline channels to drive customers into making the promise to purchase. So when we talk about omni-channel marketing, here we are consistently engaging with the customers, okay, so that the customers can actually make good on their promise to purchase, right? So marketers here definitely would need to view the customer's path on a more granular level, okay, in order to develop a good omni-channel marketing strategy. That means both your online and offline. And they need to plot all the possible touch points and the channels across the 5 A's. We will look at the 5 A's shortly. And the emphasis of this particular marketing strategy should be on the incorporation of those utmost popular channels. So these omni channels, we're looking at it from what are the popular channels of communication that your customers will have and how you can bring it all together so that you can have a integrated a concept or integrated approach so that you can tackle your customers to buy your product, right? So what are the 5 A's? When you look at the 5 A's, okay, firstly is that you're looking at it from awareness, okay. Your second point is to appeal. Third is to ask. Fourth is to act. And fifth is to advocate, okay. So here you must ensure that the channels of marketing, like for example, to be aware, you're looking at your banner and your print ad, okay, and how does it actually appeal? You are following up with the ads call to action. That means there is the information with regards to the contact center, okay, and there is also the QR code and your print ads, okay. All these are methods where the customer, are consistently reminded that you can act on the uh, uh, awareness that you have with regards to our product, okay. Then you talk about the method where they can ask you. That means you create, okay, an engine for information about the different brands and models, okay. This is where you're talking, I mean, this example here is with regards to a car, okay, and you can schedule a test drive. This is where you can actually, nowadays, most of the test drives that you schedule are all done online because of the situation, okay. They want everything prior appointment. And in this particular aspect, the information of the contact center, the salesperson, okay, at the showroom, all this information is actually put forth to the customer. And then you propel the customer to act. And that is by actually encouraging the customer to take the test drive, okay? And once the test drive is actually done, the customer can act on it where they pre-order the car, all right? And then they, of course, go and pay for the car, okay? Use the car, and you actually have got the service of the car after. Because you see, when we talk about car sales, many people, yes, we want to buy a car, but we must also be rest assured that we will get the after sales of that car. That is why you have a lot of different plans for different car companies and what they can offer. And finally, when you actually give such services, okay, when you actually uh, uh, get all these touch points to the customer's part, the customer would be your advocate. They are the ones that will recommend your product to other people. And that is through the form of social media by giving you good reviews, by talking about your product. So this is in a way making the customer do the marketing for on your behalf, right? So that would be step one. Step two, okay, when you want to identify the most critical touch points and channels, here you are looking at which of the areas in which the conversation would have lasted. Because if it's online or offline, whatever the mode of uh, uh, communication is, where was it the most? How long was it the most that was taken to convince the customer to buy your particular product? Was it the test drive, or was it the explanation? How fast can we have a turnaround? And what more did the salesperson had to do? Was the customer more uh, uh, amenable to engaging with the salesperson, or for them the test drive did it all? I don't have to explain. I just look at the test. I took the car for a test drive. I'm quite satisfied. I'm buying your product. This is where you will see identify the most critical touch points and channels, right? Step three, on the other hand, is where you can improve and integrate these critical touch points and channels, where you will want to assess and recover the most significant channel across the critical touch points to determine the success of this omni-channel marketing. So companies must be able to assign additional financial capitals to those important elements. So once you find and once you identify which is the critical touch point, you'd want to enhance those touch points. You want to make those touch points better so that you know at what time, at what place, at what stage did the customer actually was convinced to buy your product in or not. Okay. So in order to distribute a truly omni-channel customer experience, companies should actually create an organizational structure that can operationalize the strategy. So it is very, very important. So this is where the human capital comes in, where you must make sure that you can strategize or operationalize the strategy towards the successful implementation of this kind of marketing. Right. And now we move on to what we talk about the mobile commerce. Okay. When we talk about the mobile commerce here, now we find that this is a very much now economy, because now customers are very or they get connected, okay, through their mobiles. So the mobile phone is actually the most important uh, tool that they have. Is no longer a luxury, but it is now the necessity in all our lives. Okay. So they choose brands that provide the suitability of access and deal. So it's very, very important. So as they become mobile here, when the customers become mobile, that means they're always on the go. You must be able to ensure that the products or services that you're offering would be something that would enhance the accessibility to the customers. Okay, they would want, the customers would expect companies to give immediate answers to their needs without hassle. So it is very, very important that if in order for you to be relevant, okay, you must have immediate access to your customers. Okay, so the now economy, okay, which is very much in place today, okay, companies like Ubers and Airbnbs are very or are flourishing because they are very much present in the now. Okay, with the Ubers, I don't have to flag down a taxi. I'm just at the comfort of my home or wherever that I am in the shade. I just have to use my mobile phone, connect it, and my ride comes along. It's safer, it's hassle free, and I don't have to flag out my taxi and fight with the other person who tries to take my cab. So this is how the changing economy is, and you must actually uh, take into account this change, and to remain relevant, you have to engage in what we call a mobile commerce, right? So, and for this, you actually find that, they are very, very important, right? So when you actually have got this very now economy, the thing that actually helps this economy would be your mobile phones, okay? And uh, this can create what we call a closeness with the customers, because there is no other private uh, and suitable channels other than that of the mobile phone, where the company can engage with their customers. So it is very, very important that the customers are actually contacted by using both approaches. That is why you find that, omni-channel marketing is actually flourishing simply because of both online and offline engagement that is done by the organization. Thank you.